Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into the shocking world of Formula One with a question that's been on everyone's lips. Is Lewis Hamilton's team sabotaging his success? In this video, we'll expose the shocking details of Hamilton's struggles with the W14, as well as the reality behind the rumours and a no-holds-barred analysis of the situation. So grab your popcorn and buckle up for the video, and be sure to watch until the end to learn about Toto Wolff's views on Lewis Hamilton's future with the team. While Hamilton finished second to claim his first podium of the season in Melbourne, he cut a far less happy figure on Thursday when he spoke about what he perceives to be a major flaw with his team's 2023 car. After Red Bull ended their 8-year constructors title streak last season, Mercedes is once again well behind the reigning champions and has stated their intention to make radical changes to the W14 throughout the 2023 season. When asked to explain his struggles, Hamilton pointed to an issue that neither he nor the team had previously discussed publicly. The Mercedes cockpit is closer to the front of the car than rivals, most notably Red Bull, who have their drivers much further back. I don't know if people know, but we sit closer to the front tyres than all the other drivers. Our cockpit is too close to the front, the 7-time world champion said. When you're driving, you feel like you're sitting on the front wheels, which is one of the worst feelings when you're driving a car. If you were driving your car back home and you pulled the wheels beneath your legs, you would not be happy when you're approaching the roundabout. What that does, it changes the attitude of the car and how you perceive its movement, and it makes it harder to predict compared to when you're sitting back, more in the centre, and it's just something I've really struggled with. Following Hamilton's remarks, F1 commentators Karun Chandok and Jenson Button examined the situation more closely. Button, who drove alongside Hamilton at McLaren for 3 seasons from 2010 to 2012, explained why he believes the Mercedes design is causing him problems. Well, he's not feeling, and I think that's the biggest problem, the 2009 world champion said. With Lewis, the way he drives, he's quite aggressive on the throttle, quite aggressive on the brake, and he does everything through the steering wheel. So he really needs to feel what's happening through the rear of the car through his arms. And he's not getting that, so he doesn't have that confidence to push the car. And these cars are tricky anyway. They're always on edge, especially in qualifying. And if he doesn't have that confidence, he's not able to get the maximum out of it. While Hamilton was outspoken in his criticism of the W14 seat position, his Mercedes teammate Russell has not expressed any reservations about it. Russell finished ahead of Hamilton in the drivers' standings in his first year with the team, and the 25-year-old has out-qualified Hamilton in all 3 races this season. During his early season frustrations, Hamilton has accused certain Mercedes colleagues of not listening to his input on car design issues. While he did not explicitly confirm that the seat position was the design element he had previously described, the 38-year-old stated that he had never been a fan of it. But that isn't even the main issue, as F1 journalist Peter Winter pointed out. The biggest threat to Mercedes' dominance may be George Russell himself. The 70-year-old went on to compare Mercedes' situation to that of Red Bull. Winter stated that Red Bull would never ever sign Russell as Max Verstappen's teammate. Last year, the Australian journalist revealed that if Mercedes wanted to reclaim their campaign, they only had 2 options. The first option was to part ways with Russell. Meanwhile, the second option was for the Silver Arrows to make it clear to the 25-year-old that he should feel comfortable finishing behind Hamilton. While Winter cited several issues with having Hamilton and Russell on the same team, he did admit to one major advantage. When Hamilton retires, the Silver Arrows have a natural replacement in Russell. Whatever the issues are with having Russell on the team, it appears Mercedes has recently begun to realise their errors and listen to Lewis Hamilton. Toto Wolff has now backed Hamilton after the 7-time champion publicly chastised Mercedes engineers. The F1 champion then demanded accountability, demanding that those responsible own up. Wolff has backed his star driver, ordering engineers and designers to sit back and listen to Hamilton's advice. A Mercedes chief technical officer, James Allison, says the team will use the gap in the schedule before the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the end of April to work on mechanical elements of the W14 F1 car, in addition to the ongoing major aerodynamic revamp to help the Brit. We're working as hard as we can in the wind tunnel to find more downforce. he said in a team video. We'll be working as hard as we can in the drawing office to convert the things that the wind tunnel found a few weeks ago into performance that we deliver to the track. We'll be working in the drawing office also to bring some mechanical parts to the car, some different suspension components that we think will help the underlying balance of the car and make it a more drivable thing, making it something that the drivers have more confidence to push right to the limits. And we'll be working on the normal sort of simulation loop and routine that allow us to prepare for the race weekends that are coming up, making sure that we land the car in the right place when we get to the race. Allison stated that optimizing the setup in the simulator is critical for Azerbaijan, where first practice will be followed by qualifying on a sprint weekend. He also noted that the strong Australian GP weekend, which saw George Russell qualifying second and Lewis Hamilton finishing second, had been a boost for the team, but that it had been hampered by Russell's power unit failure. But when asked if the team can replicate its performance in Australia in the next race, Allison pointed out that the two venues present different challenges. That's a very difficult question to answer, he said. They are very different tracks. Where Melbourne had been front limited, putting more strain on the front axle, probably Baku will be rear limited. It's a very different set of circumstances. I think we got some reasons to think as we keep working on our car, we'll be able to make the hop from Melbourne to the different challenge of Baku and still have a good showing, but it'll be only when we get there and put the car on the road that we'll know that for sure. Well, whatever improvements Mercedes hopes to make in Azerbaijan, they're unlikely to catch up to Red Bull, which means pressure on Lewis Hamilton's position with the team will continue to mount. Hamilton's contract with Mercedes expires at the end of this season, and neither the team nor the driver have reached an agreement to extend it. While there was some hope that the matter could be resolved quickly last winter, the discussions have been put on hold until Wolff and Hamilton can agree on a suitable time to meet. But with no firm commitment from Hamilton on his plans for 2024, Mercedes risks having no suitable replacement available if the 7-time world champion decides to retire early. Mercedes wants Hamilton to sign a new contract, but Wolff has insisted that he's so unconcerned about the situation that he hasn't even considered any alternatives. While Wolff acknowledged that it would be unfortunate if Mercedes had to scramble for a replacement driver later this year, if Hamilton did decide to leave, he was confident that such a late decision would not occur. I think he would tell us early enough, said Wolff. I don't think that Lewis would say, I can't do this anymore, I'm out of here tomorrow. He would always feel the responsibility for the team. He wouldn't leave the team alone. Drivers can always take decisions like that, but he wouldn't let us down. But then I think if you believe that you're a team that is attractive for others, you'll find solutions. To say the least, Wolff's admission that Hamilton could leave at the end of the season is astounding. That wouldn't have occurred to the Austrian team principal just a few races ago. It really seems like it's getting closer to becoming a real possibility, and every Mercedes fan should be concerned about this. But what are your thoughts? Will Lewis Hamilton retire at the end of 2023 if Mercedes fails to catch up to Red Bull? And what about his friendship with Russell? Is the youngster a liability to Mercedes? Please share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for your time. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.